kept forgetting to do this episode. I got like 5 or 10 of these I want to do, but I want to just do a shout out to some of the channels that I watch on a regular basis, or I don't subscribe to many channels. I feel like the YouTube algorithm always serves up what I like watching. But this is one of those channels that I subscribe to. It's not always scientific, but I think the dude gets as close to trying to make each comparison as fair as possible. But you realize, in a weird way, it somewhat validates why we buy certain brands over others, and other times it exposes that. A lot of like I end up buying a lot of Dewalt stuff. Um, it's never let me down. It doesn't mean that it's the best stuff out there. It's just that I've never bought a Dewalt product before that like pissed me off. Like I knew someone that they ran, steel, whatever the chainsaw brand is, their whole life. I bought a Husqvarna chainsaw, and I really enjoyed mine. I had a couple acres to clear. Um, you get some bar oil and a chain or two, and life was pretty good. And I wasn't raving about it. It's just it gave me no problems. It just ran, got a lot of work done. So now I have a couple Husqvarna. I can't even say it. Husqvarna chainsaws now. So the person who ran the steel went out and bought a Husqvarna, and then they were really disappointed with it. And it's like, oh, this is nothing like a steel, and blah blah blah. And they like took the Husqvarna one back, and then he went and bought a steel, another steel. So it's like, I get it. There's probably a better chainsaw than the one I have. It's just I have no complaints. But it's weird. Like sometimes we just get caught up on brands too. Is DeWalt the best? Probably not. I've also had good luck with Milwaukee brand, which on this channel you see that as well. So I think that's a cool part of this channel. As he's going through and comparing stuff, it does reaffirm that certain brands consistently kind of live up to their expectations. Sometimes maybe not as much. And then you look at the value prospect of it. Is it worth spending $200 on this drill? If you're not a heavy user, the $100 drill is probably good enough. So it looks like he posts about once a week, and you know, the cool one, the really cool one was the penetrating fluids and how well they work, if they work at all, which ones work the best. If you've ever had that issue, if you got that equipment that's been sitting out behind the barn for a couple years collecting rust, and then it's like, oh, you gotta break that bolt off, right? Or what's another one I had? A buddy had a trailer hitch. He left his trailer hitch in for years, just years, and it got to the point to where the trailer hitch rusted and it like bonded, the shank bonded to the hitch, and then he couldn't get it out for the life of him. So it's like you spray all this stuff in there trying to just get it loosened up a little bit, and the same kind of concept with bolts. Um, so it was cool to see that episode where they you actually saw how far the liquid would penetrate down into the threads of a fastener, for example. But there's not a lot of channels on YouTube that go into such great depth of comparing products. If you look at the amount of time this guy puts into the comparison, it's like, well, he's probably making money, you hope. 2 million subscribers, the video here is 300,000, 400,000. You got to imagine it's paid off. It's worth the time. And, a lot of channels just don't do that. It's a lot of opinion base or a lot of feelings or a lot of reviews. Man, I'll tell you what, if I only bought not products, if I only ate at restaurants based on Yelp reviews, I'd probably never eat anywhere. You realize so many people are they go in for one meal and they just want to write a bad review to get a bunch of likes, and they got a bias for some other restaurant down the street. It's like, man, you can't live by online reviews. It's nice to just see this stuff in action. It's also a wake-up call. Maybe there's a brand you really believed in, and you just believe in it, but it's not that great, and you've been overpaying. Or maybe there's another brand that is worth spending an extra $50 on. I look around and I question myself because it's like I got a garage and barn and other properties full of DeWalt stuff for the most part. You get it, the batteries all interchange, blah blah blah. So it's like, well, what if DeWalt's overrated? And maybe I should be buying Makita. Maybe I should be buying Milwaukee. So just cool to see some of that stuff. I mean, he's tested oils. He's tested I don't know how many things. Like best angle grinder. Like I just bought one of those like 60-volt, battery powered grinders, which best investment ever. Um, it's nice having a portable one. I run a wheel off my compressor or something if I need to cut something. Not always the quickest thing on the planet. Or, I got my big ass 110 wheel that you got to carry that thing around. But sometimes you're out in the middle of the field and you don't have that kind of power. So, man, that was a great buy. I wish I would have bought that one sooner. The screwdriver ones are great when they compared which screwdrivers lasted the longest. I mean, some of those, like, was it Klein, some of those brands. When I was in tech a long time ago, like in my late teens, early 20s, I had one of those, like, fancy technician bags when you go out to work on someone's, like, network and all that stuff. And some of those tools are crazy expensive. And it's like, did you need that? I don't know. Pliers. Man, there's a lot of good stuff in here. Oh, now it's like that's going into other weird ass. What is that stuff down there? Grinders, someone else doing stuff. That's not even his channel. Let's go to his channel here. What else we got? Look at videos. Pole saw. Like I forgot what pole saw I had, but I know it sucked. I needed a pole saw really fast, and I ran down to Home Depot and bought one. And that was years ago. It's one of those things like I wish I would have jumped on here really fast, watched a video to try to see which one's better. Knives is one where, you know, I feel like I got $40 knives that outperform the $100 knives. So it's just nice to see some of these videos. All these tools, pliers, wrenches, scissors. Scissors was a cool one. But yeah, this is one of those channels that if you like working on stuff, if you're just generally interested in tools and what oil works better, check out this channel. There's so much garbage on social media and TikTok, and this is one of the few channels you can actually sit there and like A, learn something, and then B, make a better purchasing decision. And it's not an exact science, but you probably will walk into Home Depot or Lowe's or Menards with a little bit more knowledge than just saying, "Hey, I want to buy yellow, I want to buy blue, I want to buy red." We get sucked into brands, and then it's not always the best product. So, anyway, shout out to Project Farm. Definitely one of my favorite channels. What's your favorite channel? If you want to introduce me to something new, I like cars, I like boats, I like planes, I like music, stereos, tools, watches. Definitely like food. If you got something cool out there, maybe a channel that you think no one's ever heard of, drop a comment. I'd be curious to see. Till then, I'll catch you on the next one.